here's everything that happened to Tesla stock this week. We have a new catalyst that could send Tesla stock 10% higher in one single day. We have proof that Warren Buffett is possibly buying Tesla stock. We'll dive into that. And hear this out. Tesla's competitor is joining Elon Musk. The mainstream is freaking out. They are thinking Twitter is literally shutting down because servers cannot support Twitter, and less than 1,000 people are left at Twitter out of 7,500 people that were at Twitter when Elon first purchased it. Tesla stock buybacks are much more likely now. We have a detailed 4680 battery update. We also know that Elon is looking for a CEO for Twitter, at least later he will. Troy believes that Tesla is likely to cut prices in China again. Meet Kevin says that Tesla stock is looking more like a value stock, which is one more reason why perhaps Buffett is buying Tesla stock. And we finally have what appears to be the one stack being released for Tesla's full self-driving beta. So let's dive into all of the news from this week. Elon says that maybe soon we will have actually smart summon. Right now, it's not exactly actually smart. Don't use it, folks. FSD 11 enables finally FSD beta on highways. And as you can see, when you go on a city street, this is how the pictures or images look. But when you go on a highway, this is what you get right now. It's basically crazy simple. There are many other improvements, such as 4x increase in transformer spatial resolution. So this is what the car sees right now, sort of, you could say. Pay attention to the resolution. And what it used to see was more like this. Next, everyone is basically telling Elon Musk to shut up and just work at Tesla, I guess. Fix Twitter. Dan Ives, for example, is saying, when does it end? He's a bull still, by the way. The focus is Tesla or Twitter. Is this Twitter train wreck situation hurting, tarnishing the global brand of Musk and therefore Tesla? Well, ideally, as a Tesla stock shareholder, I would like Elon to just focus on Tesla, but everyone is forgetting Elon also has SpaceX, and that has never been a problem, so I don't think this is a big issue. And here I bring you some of the best news that we can pay attention to. You see, the deliveries for Q4, Zach, the CFO of Tesla, says it should be just under 50% year over year, but Wall Street still thinks that it is going to be only 429,000, which only implies 43% delivery growth, which, if that happened, meaning Zach's estimate comes true and Wall Street gets super surprised, if we beat expectations and we deliver a lot of cars, then we could have something that looks more like this. This is Q1 of this year. Well, that is beginning of this year, when we find out Q4 deliveries, and the stock jumped up basically more than 10% higher. So if we do that again, and if we beat expectations, which if Zach's number comes true, Wall Street is going to get surprised in the stock. I believe in my deep conviction would then go up more than 10% higher, perhaps in just one single day. Now, of course, Tesla would have to beat the expectations first, which Tesla may not, and we'll get into that. We'll get into Troy's estimate. Troy's estimate for Tesla's deliveries is even lower than Wall Street consensus, which is a little bit scary, but this is actually really good news. This is the daily active users of Twitter. This is really good because that means Twitter is doing better. Elon Musk wants to have 1 billion users for Twitter. The faster he does that, the faster he will be back at Tesla. And everyone, or many people said, or think that this increase, this peak was because of elections, which, there is some truth in that. And guess what? Elections are over and Twitter hit another all-time high in Twitter usage. Now let that sink in, people. You don't want to bet against Elon. Haven't you learned your lesson yet? Anyone criticizing Elon saying, oh, this was just due to elections, he will not reach another all-time high for Twitter usage? Speaking of unbelievable things, Morgan Stanley, Adam Jonas. Can sentiment tail risk create a buying opportunity? Even Morgan Stanley, who once had a bear case for Tesla stock, split adjusted under $1. Can you believe that? This was early or mid 2019-ish. This is right before I bought Tesla stock and it tanked 50%. Ooh, that was not great. But still, Morgan Stanley maintains a $330 price target, which, by the way, most analysts actually kind of agree. This is the average price target currently that you can see on tipranks.com, $308. Most analysts are saying Tesla stock this is indeed a buying opportunity. And if you oversimplify, the bad case is basically a 50% drop, while the upside is 4x-ish, roughly. And unfortunately, this is why Troy thinks there could be a further price cut in China for Tesla vehicles. You see, there were 16,000 units that were produced but neither delivered nor exported in October. And Troy says this has a negative effect because it's something that supports the price cut rumor. Troy didn't say that the price cut, another price cut, is guaranteed or anything like that. Gary Black, in fact, thinks it's too early to decrease the price, but Troy has given more than a 50% chance that Tesla will cut the price again. And I think I would be with Troy on this one, unfortunately. But that's not a bad thing because Tesla has huge margins and so many other ways that Tesla can increase demand. Tesla also, remember, does not spend any money on marketing. And while overall Tesla's backlog is still very strong, and remember, in some places in the world, Tesla's pricing is, to basically almost quote Elon Musk, is ridiculous. The prices are way too high, Elon thinks, and the backlog is shrinking, and I would expect that the US backlog will shrink significantly by the end of the year because there is going to be a $7,500 EV credit available for anyone who buys an EV starting from January 1st, but you don't get it if you buy the car before then. So I have a question for you. Would you wait for a month to get that credit? I'm a millionaire. I would wait unless I absolutely had to have the car. But even then, it sort of makes sense to rent a car. You're going to save $7,500. So I would expect the demand, the backlog for US to start shrinking significantly, but then starting from January 1st, I would expect that to come back really strong. Troy actually thinks that Tesla may even increase prices in US even more, which is contrary to what Morgan Stanley believes. Morgan Stanley said that they expect price cuts next year in the US for Tesla vehicles, which I find quite interesting. Just like that 66-67 cent bear case price target that Morgan Stanley had in 2019 for Tesla. Mind you, Tesla is at about $200-ish right now. It fluctuates quite a bit. Currently, Tesla is at $180.19. Earlier this week, we also had incredibly good news for China's economy with their COVID policies loosening. So even though cases are going up, their policies are loosening up. And also we have some very good news for China's property markets. The demand fears in China usually are coming because we are afraid of what is going to happen to the economy in China. And if there is a very bad deep recession over there, that's not going to be exactly the best for demand for vehicles. And that includes Tesla somewhat as well. So people are afraid Tesla would need to do further price cuts. But this was really good news. Also, Wall Street probably is not used to or is not believing Tesla saying that they will try to eliminate the delivery wave at the end of each quarter. And maybe that has something to do with their estimates as well. Perhaps just something to think about. Many Tesla bulls believe when the backlog shrinks, the demand is going to be very strong because that's basically free advertising. Hey, instead of waiting for 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, how about you get your Tesla in 1 week? I personally know people that were going to order a Tesla and then they looked at the waiting line times of like 6 months back then for a Model 3 and yeah, no order. Meet Kevin has a price target for Tesla stock of 546. That's 42% compounded return each year for 3 years. One thing that so many people overlook, even especially new Tesla stock investors, this is Tesla's gross auto margin, 27.9%. What many people don't know is that Model Ys that are made in Fremont, Shanghai, and Berlin do not receive front giga castings, only rear castings, and only Texas-made Model Ys receive both front and rear castings. There's still so much room for margins to improve. And none of the Model 3s receive front castings or rear castings. And of course, 4680 batteries, structural battery packs, only very few cars receive those. Basically, not a significant number. So even if Tesla does need to cut pricing, it's okay. The margins are still going to be there long term. Then we did get those transcripts from ongoing legal case against Elon Musk. Elon said that he will find a new leader for Twitter, which is good news for us Tesla stock investors. Once Elon comes back to Tesla or doesn't have to pay as much attention to Twitter, that's good. And he expects to complete an organizational restructuring this week, and this week is now coming to an end. When Tesla board member was testifying in that same trial, he said that Elon Musk identified a potential successor as Tesla's CEO already, which is good. We'll come back briefly to who it could be, but George Hotz, Tesla's competitor, especially for full self-driving, he was pushing Comma AI to compete with full self-driving. He is now joining Elon Musk at Twitter, which is good because that means Twitter is going to be fixed faster when you have such a person who is so talented that he was the first person to carrier unlock an iPhone. And of course, the bears are saying Twitter is sinking, Tesla is sinking, but no, if you look back at them and the bears run away. This is a chart from Cleaner Watt, and we have this 4680 battery update. You can see that at the cell level, 4680 batteries, they are not as good. But really, we just want to look at the pack level. But even at the pack level, we estimate that it's not going to be nowhere near or not as good as the old generation 2170 cells. And on top of that, those cells charge slower. This is a chart from the Limiting Factor YouTube channel. Then we do an apple-to-apple comparison. Then we do see that 4680 batteries actually match the previous technology. So it's actually fine. The reason why we see these things that don't seem to be as good for 4680 batteries, you got to remember, this is just the first iteration of 4680 batteries. They will get better, just like 2170 cells are going to get better. But this is the real question. Which of these batteries that I just showed you, which one do you think is the cheapest one to make? And the simplest one to make? The ones that are super tiny, where you make like 10 of those and it still doesn't have the energy capacity of one 4680 cell or just one 4680 cell? Which one do you think is easier? Of course, 4680 production is going to be easier and faster, and that is long-term the biggest constraint for Tesla to grow batteries long-term. 4680 batteries are going to help with that. And this is the amount of paperwork that had to be brought in to that trial where Elon Musk got sued for $56 billion because he got paid too much from Tesla, which was agreed. All the Tesla stock shareholders agreed to it, by the way. And if he didn't improve Tesla's valuation, then he would have gotten paid zero. And the person that sued Tesla only had 9 shares. This is ridiculous. The reason why this is happening, by the way, is because lawyers get paid. If lawyers win, they will get paid, let's say it's just 10% or even 5% of $56 billion. That is a lot of money for lawyers to make. I think this case is going to be thrown out because if this actually turns out to be a problem, the courts will be flooded with CEO compensation cases. I believe buybacks for Tesla stock are inevitable long-term, and this makes it more likely because I think Tesla gives into pressure of what shareholders perhaps may want to do, and there is a lot of pressure from Tesla stock shareholders for Tesla to do a buyback. Alexander started this petition, which now has almost 4,000 signatures. Now, to put this in perspective, there are something like over 5 million or 6 million Tesla shareholders, individual shareholders, so this is not very many, but still this will probably be brought up to Tesla's board. Again, there's a lot of talk about who is the next CEO for Tesla is going to be. Dave Lee thinks it's going to be Ashok. That is who Elon chose just in case if he cannot continue. Most agree it's definitely not Herbert Diaz, who completely failed with Volkswagen software and was ousted as a CEO. Most people will think it's Zachary, the CFO, or Andrew Baglino. The consensus seems to be it's Andrew. There are 2 other options that are extremely good that no one really is talking much about. Those are in that video. You can watch that to learn more. It will be in the link below and in the pinned comment. We know Elon basically wants to turn Twitter into a financial institution, the best financial institution. That is on top of another TikTok, YouTube, Wine, and many other things. With close to something like 90% of Twitter's employees, original Twitter employees gone, there was a lot of speculation that Twitter is actually going to shut down, the servers are going to stop working. And this is real. People were even posting Busty selfies for the last time just in case Twitter shuts down for good. Twitter is going to be fine. The best people are staying. Don't forget that. And then here's proof that Buffett is buying Tesla stock. Well, he is definitely selling BYD. Look at this. 3 instances that he sold. He still owns quite a bit of BYD, but this begs the question, is Warren Buffett buying Tesla stock? Those of you saying Buffett would never do that, read this. We try and avoid the worst anchoring effect, which is always your previous conclusion. We really try and destroy our previous ideas. Any year that you don't destroy one of your best loved ideas is probably a wasted year. Earlier this year, Munger was insulting Elon Musk, basically, who is Buffett's partner. And now he's calling Tesla a minor miracle and that Elon Musk is good. And Becky Quick didn't ask him if Berkshire is buying Tesla stock or not. Becky is too good of a reporter not to ask an important question like that. When someone does such a U-turn in their position, going from negative to positive so quickly. Elon used NetJets, which is a Berkshire Hathaway company, to fly to Delaware. There are 15 facts. You should really watch that video. It's right here. Watch it next. If you are a Tesla stock investor, you definitely want to see all of those rumors. Maybe Berkshire is indeed buying Tesla stock, which would be great for Tesla. So click on this video right now. Like this video if you haven't yet, and I'll see you here.